Hey up, hope you're well. We're back in with the grow on tank. It's just a quick follow up really. The last video showed the system I'd set up. For want of a better word, it had just been thrown in and up and running as quickly as possible just for the sake of the fish. Now I've got round to making the changes and getting it set up properly. So I'm going to quickly run through that and we're going to have a look at the fish, because we didn't do that to any degree in the last video at all. And also we're going to have a look at the air source heat pump. If you saw the last video, you'll remember it was a nano unit that I'd come across, a 3 kilowatt heat pump. I didn't install it in the end, it's gone back. It was dead out of the box. Yeah, the fan didn't work, so I plumbed it all in, wired it up. Unfortunately, before I wired the electrics properly, I just plugged it into an extension reel. Set it running. It was supposed to be plug and play. Water was flowing through it, no problem, but the fan wouldn't turn at all. The motor was humming as if it was making an effort to rotate the fan, but it just was stationary. So the unit would freeze up after a few minutes of trying to run without a fan running. The company I purchased from, their solution was ask me to remove the cover of the unit and see if I could spin the fan by hand to see if it was jammed. I didn't think that was too unreasonable, so I attempted that, and yeah, it was really stiff, it wasn't moving. Their next solution was, okay, now you've done that, the fan rotates, if you can take everything apart, put a couple of washers behind the fan, that should be alright. So at that point I said, no, you're alright, you can have it back, thank you very much. Just dead out the box. And to be fair, they've said, yeah, no problem, package it up and you can return it. But I lost complete confidence, as you can imagine. It's not something you expect straight out the box to be completely dead. So yeah, it's gone back, or it's going back. So let's just go back here a little bit. So you can see I've still got some, there's a bit of water down there. I've just done water changes. Still doing the water changes to combat any ammonia spikes. I'm managing to keep it quite reasonable in there, considering we're cycling with all the fish. That metal framework there, that is where the next tank is going. And now I've actually cleared everything. So you can see the pipes that come from the pump. The pump is now installed nicely under the pod. Everything's pretty much lagged up. That runs all the way out to the air source, and then it comes back in, runs under the tank, which I've nicely clad. That's just soffits. It's really cheap. I looked at plastic cladding and all kinds of things, materials, and that was something like, for a 5 metre length, it was something like 13 or 14 quid. And it's a foot wide, so a couple of lengths of that, and it's done the job quite nicely. And that's the new UV. It's a Jerboa unit, I think it is. That's not up and running yet, because obviously I'm trying to get the filters up and running. There's the air pump and the inline heater, which I obviously kept in there, but you can see it's knocked right down now. So the difference between the 2 kilowatt heater there and the air source that we've put on, the air source is costing me less than £1 a day to keep this at 23 degrees, and it's very constant, and it's unbelievable really. I can't believe the job it does, but I'll go into that in a second, into the unit itself. Whereas to keep it at 20 degrees, the 2 kilowatt heater there, that was costing £2 to £2.50 a day. As the weather improves, I'm envisaging that the cost of the air source will decrease as well, so that's all good. So this box here, that's the dry box that you get with the Senai unit. So I've got a small router disc in there for my mesh Wi-Fi system, and the Senai, all the Senai web server is all locked nicely into the box, and the wire there is the sensor into the grow on. all run off a separate fused electric box. That's there for when I install this tank. That's going to have a separate pump and UV and filter, so that's why we've got the available switches there. So I think that's about everything on there. I'm pleased with how it came out, I'll be honest. I think it looks a damn sight better. Oh, one thing I have got left to do is another air pump there for cleaning the Easy Pod. I'm going to put that on a shelf here. I'm going to put a shelf up, wire it into there, and then run the airline all the way across. So yeah, that's that. Everything else is a complete bomb site in here, so I've got a lot of tidying up to do. But now we'll have a quick look at the fish. In fact, no, we'll have a look at the air source heat pump first. So this is the unit I went with. It's a Pro Team. I've not heard of them before. This particular unit's an i7. So it's rated at 7 kilowatts out for, I think it's just over a kilowatt in, running at maximum. However, on this control panel here, it's all Wi-Fi control as well. It's got a smart mode, so being an inverter, it only ticks over and it only runs. It only uses the power it needs to get to the desired temperature, and because this unit is overkill for the tank that we're heating, it doesn't seem to require a lot at all. I often come out and it's running at 35% maybe to heat that, and like I say, when the weather improves, I'm hoping that that'll improve as well. So I've still got to lag these, but I've left them for a few days just to make sure there's no leaks. But yeah, just a couple of hoses, 38mm hoses running straight onto the 40mm pipe through hose tails. These came with the unit. I can't speak highly enough for it, I'll be honest. It's worked. I ordered it from Automated Engineering Services, I think it is. I've possibly got that wrong, but I'll put it up and I'll put it in the description. I ordered it 1:30 in the afternoon, and it was 24 hours late, less than 24 hours later, it was on the doorstep. So brilliant bit kit, and hopefully with it being a 7 kilowatt output, by the time the weather hits really bad again, I'll only need it to be kicking out half a kilowatt to a kilowatt to keep the pond ticking over, so it should be perfectly capable of doing that. Right, so I've got the covers up. They haven't had any feed. They're only getting very minimal amounts at the minute, again because of the ammonia. As you can see with the lighting, it's much better in there now. What I've done, I've run an LED strip. You can see it run up the back, and it runs all the way along the top. But I've also got it running underneath. When I go into the fish, I'll show you that. So they get light whether the covers are on or off. Top down view. So yeah, you can see we've got varying sizes and various types. I think there's Kahaku's, Achiba, possibly Beko. I'm not sure whether they've developed any colours yet. With the black and whites, possibly Beko. The Yamabuki Oak on there, that's my wife's. He's just in here until next year, and we're going to put him in the pond next year, I think. So yeah, some nice looking fish. We'll try and get some underwater footage. So we'll have a quick look at the lighting. Really quickly, if you're new here, just about everything I've used for the main pond is all linked in the description, all affiliate links, so they help me out if you click through. Thanks very much to all the new subscribers, you're always welcome. If you like the video, stick a like, helps massively. Thanks very much.